In this video, we are going to learn how to change the font and the font size, and also learn how to change the color of our text. In our previous video, we have learned how to add text in CorelDraw. If you haven't watched this video, I'll be leaving the link at the top. When I click on this text, looking at our property bar, there are different sets of commands here. What we are going to entertain will be our font list and also our font size. All right, then we will also be dealing with our color palettes as we go along the line. So in order to change the font, we have to first of all understand something about default fonts and sizes. Okay, when you look at this, CorelDraw is giving me area and 24 pt. The pt means point. This is the default size CorelDraw and font CorelDraw is giving us. When I click on this one as well, we see the same thing on the property bar. But look at this. This is our text box. We have drawn the paragraph text. When I click, something has happened. We have the same font, but here we have 12 points instead of the 24 we have seen before. There is a reason behind this. Okay, when I click on my text tool and I click here, you notice that this has become what? This is 24 automatically, and also having the area. But what about if I draw a text box? You notice that this has changed to what? 12. This is because CorelDraw assumes that I'll be entering a lot of text, and there is a rule when writing text for official work. The size has to be 12 and all kind of things like that, and there has to be a certain kind of fonts you have to use, like Calibri, Area, Times New Roman and stuff. Since we are not talking about fonts here and how to prepare documents, let's leave that aside and move on. Okay, so if I click outside, you can see we click here to with text tool to add paragraph text. Well, let's get rid of this. Now you have understood the sizes by default, so let's go ahead and kind of format our text. So I'm going to click here, drop down the caret symbol, and before we get to talk about the fonts below, let's talk about the ones up here. You will see a horizontal line here, if you can watch. Then above the horizontal lines, you will see kind of some fonts here, and those are the current fonts I've used, or the fonts I regularly use. They are always displayed at the top of the bar. Then here are the fonts, all the fonts we have in our library, font library. Okay, so you can go ahead and select any font amount this one. Since I don't have any font on mind, I might just want to select this CorelDraw, and there we go. Our font has changed to from Arial to CorelDraw. I don't know how, if that's the way to call it. So I'm going to click on this one. Let's change the size, and when I click on the caret symbol, you see I have different sizes here from 6 down up to 200, and I can even type any figure I want. And whilst I hover over my font sizes, you see that my text is there is a preview of what my text will be. Well, let me give it 36. That's what I want. That's good. So we have succeeded changing our Arial, our font, and also our font size. So here, let's come to our paragraph text and do something. I want to target only beginnerstageguide.com. In order to do that, I have to highlight it. So now that my text is selected, I want to change the font size. But what I want us to do here, achieve here, is to change the color of the text. But I also want to go ahead and change the font. So what I want to do is, let's head over and change this. So I'm going to type here Times New Roman, and that is another way of also getting your fonts. You can type the font name in the field and it has appeared here. I'm just going to select this one, or I could just enter and to select it. So I'm going to click to select. Now if you pay attention, close attention, you realize that the font here is different from the beginnerstageguide.com. I head over here, but before that, let me change the size. I'm going to make it 16 points and head over here to the color palette and click on blue. Since it's a link, I want to make it blue. So I click on blue, and there we go. I have just succeeded changing the font and the color of the text. We could go ahead and select all of it and just give it a different color, red. That is what we could do, but I like it that way, so I'm going to undo and keep everything the way it is.